My name is Ruta Jankauskienė. I'm representing Kaunas University of Technology from Lithuania. I'm also a member of the SGroup Executive Committee, and I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. And I'm also a liaison officer for our university at SGroup. I'm very pleased to welcome you to this SGroup online cafe, which is a best practice sharing initiative devoted to the European University Alliances. Actually, the idea to organize such an event was first sparked during the SGroup Staff Week in Lanzarote last year. So, dear colleagues, if you are still wondering whether to take part in this year gathering in Catania, don't hesitate. Actually, I believe it's a great chance to collaborate and contribute in shaping, new ideas for future initiatives. So today, we are delighted to have the opportunity to organize this event where we can share our experiences on European University Alliances, particularly the ECIU University project, in which we, Kaunas University of Technology, are actively involved with all of you.
So, in the background.
Do we have any technical problems? No? Okay, so what is ECIU? It is a European consortium of innovative universities, which is one of the first generation EU universities since 2019. So actually, yes, we have a long time experience, and it is a very good chance for us to share the valuable, I believe, insights into successful strategies, and also to discuss the challenges and limitations encountered in shaping the ECIU University. And before we start the presentations, I also would like to present some information on the in-house rules. So this session will be recorded, and later the recording will be available to watch it again or to recommend it to your university colleagues, especially because this week is also an Easter holiday week to some of the colleagues, so I believe that would be very helpful. The use of camera, of course, it's optional, but highly recommended. And also we will allocate some time after each presentation for your questions. So yeah, please be active in raising your questions or comments. Please also share your questions and comments in the chat box as well. And also we hope to have some time afterwards to start an open discussion. So now it's my great pleasure to introduce the first speaker, Olga Vessels, who is the head of ECIU Brussels office. And Olga will share the latest EU developments around the European University Initiative, how the ECIU Brussels office engages with EU policymakers and helps shape future EU initiatives, policies, and programs. Olga also coordinated the Community of Practices for EU for All, which brings together all 65 European University Alliances, and will share its main ambitions and objectives. So, dear Olga, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here. I already have one problem because you asked me to present many interesting things, and I only have 15 minutes. So let's try, but I for sure also look forward, I will keep it very short and look forward to the Q&A session to have a dialogue with you on the things that I present. Can you see my slides? Okay, that is very helpful because there will be a lot of information on the slides, and 15 minutes is not enough to explain all the details. I shared the slides also with Ruta, so I guess you will receive them from her. So the latest news from Brussels, because I'm calling in from Brussels indeed, the EU capital. And let's start with maybe one of the $1 million questions. What does the Brussels office do and how can it be of added value to ECIU? And indeed, as Ruta said, ECIU is first and foremost the European Consortium of Innovative Universities. So we are not per se only a European University Alliance. We are also a network, an advocacy organization to raise the awareness of innovative universities in Brussels and to help build a bridge between our partners, for example, Kaunas University of Technology in Lithuania, and what is happening in the EU capital on the latest developments, the new programs, calls for experts, funding opportunities, changes in open science regulation. I try to translate the developments here in Brussels to the potential impact in the university, positive or negative. And on the other side, I also raise the awareness among EU policymakers about what is happening in the ECIU partner institutions. So in that way, I try to close the gap between the ivory tower of the policymakers here in Brussels, the Parliament, the European Commission, and what is happening on the ground in the ECIU partner universities. So it raises the visibility and the influence of partner universities, because as Kaunas University of Technology, you can knock on the door of the European Commission, but it's difficult to have your voice heard. And it really helps if you are a network of 13 universities with a similar profile across 13 different countries in Europe, and we have one partner in Mexico. But I skipped the part about ECIU because I don't have time to explain everything. It really helps to be heard. Because if you are 13 universities in 12 European countries, one partner from Mexico, the policymakers, they will listen to you. And on many topics, for example, the need for regional engagement, for enhancing the impact of the university in the region, in society, the ECIU partner universities are very much aligned. On the need for entrepreneurship, our problem-based, challenge-based way of working, engaging societal actors directly in our pedagogies. We are so much aligned that it really helps to talk together to the European Commission, especially, and also the European Parliament. I also share the latest EU news and rumors, because that's the benefit of being in Brussels, and every now and then you find a leaked document on your desk or on the street, and I forward them straight away to the ECIU researchers, offices, partners, so they are aware of the latest development. Before it's out in the open, they already know the draft work programs for Horizon Europe, for example. I have a bi-weekly update with the latest updates, information, publication of calls. And I also organize regular workshops in Brussels where our partners can directly speak with people from the European Commission, from the executive agencies, about topics like the European Research Council, Marie Curie, or the HR developments in Brussels. I support the organization of visits and events in Brussels. I know Kaunas University of Technology is but Lithuanian universities in general are very visible in Brussels. You have a very active office here, the Lino office in Brussels, that organizes many events. I work closely together with them. I have office space available for partners to work, to organize consortium meetings, and I help one-to-one with EU questions, support, and the agenda. So this is to cover what I do in Brussels. Also, you see a list of position papers, because I said together we have a stronger voice on topics, for example, the Erasmus Plus program, how can we improve it? Or the next Horizon Europe program, what works, what doesn't work? How can we enhance the impact of the programs? Micro-credentials is a key topic for ECIU. We are really forerunners, and this is really an example where we directly influence the European approach to micro-credentials. So also there we have different policy papers. You can find all of them on the ECIU webpage. Then we move to the second question of Ruta, and this is, what is the latest news on the European University Alliances in Brussels? And there I can tell you the European University Alliances are at the very top of the political agenda. Every landmark report that's published lately, alliances are mentioned or at the very core of the recommendations. And I just skip through reports that cover 400, 500, 600 pages, and I only highlight 2 or 3 sentences to you to get to the very core. For example, the report of Letta last year, April, he proposes to have save 10 million euros annually for each alliance. And also he says, if we want to build towards this 5th freedom, the freedom of knowledge in Europe, so he's proposing this 5th freedom, then the European degree is a cornerstone, but also the European University Alliances, they are a flagship of this 5th freedom. They will implement the 5th freedom. So the alliances are at the very core of Letta's report. Then we go to Draghi's report, Mario Draghi. Well, if we talk about landmark reports published lately, then for sure Draghi report is the landmark report published. It's really the pole star at the moment for any European proposal, initiative, publications that's coming out of the European Commission. So it's all about European competitiveness. And what he says is that we should also introduce an instrument to support excellent research institutions by leveraging the European University Alliances. So for European competitiveness, we need the European University Alliances, but not only this, we need a strong research dimension in those alliances. This is what Europe needs, according to Draghi. Then this is chronologically. So next were the political guidelines of Ursula von der Leyen. And in her political guidelines, so you have to be aware that education is, of course, not a European competence. And a European University Alliance is an education-led initiative. But still, despite that education is not a European competence, we are at the very heart of the political guidelines. So of the agenda of the European Commission until 2029. She wants to strengthen further the European University Alliances. And that's also what happened because we are now with 65 alliances. So that's a really big group of 570 higher education institutions in total. Then Manuel Heiter came with a big report on the future of European research. Align, Act, Accelerate. And also Heiter was convinced that sustainable support across all the missions of the university, so not only education, but also research, innovation, and transfer to society, is vital to unlock the full potential of the European University Alliances. And he sees the alliances really as laboratories for knowledge development. So also, we don't even receive support from Horizon Europe, no dedicated support as alliances. There are not strong synergies between the Horizon Europe program and the European Universities Initiative, but still Heiter puts the alliances at the core of his report. So that's a very strong signal, I would say. And the final 2 proofs is the mission letters of the commissioner. So we have Commissioner Roxana Minzatu. She's not only a commissioner, she's an executive vice president, so the right hand of Ursula von der Leyen, of people, skills, and preparedness. And her title is important here. So it's not education, it's skills, preparedness. That's at the core of her mission. But if you read her mission letter for the coming 5 years, so what should be her focus? It's strengthening Erasmus, the European education area, European degree, and the European University Alliances. There they are again. To further support the alliances. And not only Minzatu, responsible for education, but also the Commissioner Zahariva, responsible for startups. First and foremost, startups. So here you see the competitiveness of Draghi coming back again, but also research and innovation. Also, she has to support the work of the European University Alliances in the context of developing research careers. So from many different angles, you see strong voices that the alliances should play a role also in the European research area. And this is not the case yet, but this is a signal that hopefully, because I'm very much an advocate for this, very soon there will be a stronger support for the research dimension of the alliances. But for sure, we stay very high on the agenda. And that is very positive. This is what we need. There will not be alliances without political support, without funding. We cannot achieve our big ambitions, of course. But it's nice that we're mentioned in all the mission letters. What is really important is the next European budget. Right now, we receive 14 million euros for 4 years. If you have this target of at least 9 partners. It's not certain yet how this plus 2 years bonus years will look like, if it will be 7 million euros, if it will be more, because of course money is maybe worth less, or there's of course a huge fight now on the EU budget with what is happening in Ukraine, with the security, with the need to invest in defense, or will the next EU budget be fully focused on defense? And this year is really a crucial year. I can go on a sabbatical for 6 years, but this year I need to be in Brussels because this year they will propose the next EU budget, they will propose the next EU programs. So it's super timely that all those high-level reports came out now to propose a strong role for the alliances, and we hope that this will be reflected in the proposal for the EU budget as well. There is a leaked, and this is a terrible, terrible table to put on a slide. Nobody will be able to read this, but you will receive the slide from Huta, so then you can zoom in, and there you can see a leaked outline for the EU budget, and you luckily see Erasmus 2.0 mentioned, and the European University Alliances will be funded by this Erasmus program, but hopefully there will be also some funding in the European Competitiveness Fund, and this is the second big row that you see. Hopefully there will be also a place there to fund the alliances, following up on Heitar's, on Draghi's, on Letta's recommendations to have a research dimension in the alliances. I don't have much more time, Ruta, I think.
Absolutely okay. Thank you very much. Is it the end of your presentation, or would you like to add a few more slides?
Yeah, I have some more slides on For You For All, the project that I coordinate.
2 slides?
So I will maybe
3 minutes?
skip all of this. It was a little bit more detail about the Union of Skills and the Competitiveness Fund, but we don't have time to go into details, but you have the slides, so everything will be on the slide. Final words, final slide, Ruta, I promise you, on the For You For All project. This is a project so close to my heart, and I really, really welcome what is happening here in this online event, that we share our challenges, our best practices in the alliances, because we will all be stronger if we work together. And this is exactly what For You For All is about. It's the Forum of European Universities, for EU, for all, for everybody, for all the alliances, but also beyond the alliances, for the wider higher education sector, to share our lessons learned, our challenges, to work together with the European Parliament together, to work together with the European Commission together, because we have a much stronger voice if we come to an agreement on what are the key challenges for interoperability, for micro-credentials, for flexible learning pathways, for challenge-based learning, for quality assurance and accreditation. We all have the same challenges, and we have to work together among 65 alliances. So this is what we do at the European level, and this is what we do through the For You For All project. It's a 4-year Erasmus Plus project. I coordinate this. I can tell you much more details about it, but we don't have time now, so maybe in the Q&A session. And I really look forward to continue working also together with all of you, because I truly believe in sharing our challenges and our best practices. I will go back to you now, Ruta.
Okay, thank you very much, Olga. It was a wonderful presentation. Everything is on time. So, dear colleagues, do you have any questions to Olga? Could you please switch on your mic or raise your hand, or write the question into the chat? Do not have questions so far. But actually, yes, I have. I have one question, if I may, because it's my question, to you, Olga. Because, I'm always thinking, 65 alliances, now part of the European Universities Initiative. How to maintain common objectives across such a diverse group?
Yes, I really love this question. I think on one hand, the diversity is the strength also of the alliances. It was, of course, a very bottom-up call. You could define your own profile as an alliance, and I think this is also the strength of ECIU. We decided not to go for a joint degree, not to go for a European degree, to fully focus on flexible education and micro-credentials. This makes us really unique amongst the other alliances, which sometimes is difficult because the European degree is so high on the European agenda that even ECIU now tries to maybe stack our micro-credentials approach towards a European degree in the end. But I think it's also really the added value of ECIU in the full pool of alliances that we are so strong on flexible education and micro-credentials. So we really have something to add there. I think the common objective is this urge to innovate our education, to collaborate, to strengthen the European values, the European identity amongst our partners. I think this is common to all the alliances, that we really believe in those European values, in this international collaboration, and in this innovation at the European level. And I think apart from this, there is a lot of diversity, and this is actually the strength. It should stay like this. We should be diverse. It should stay bottom up, because this is how the gems will develop.
Okay, thank you very much. And we have one more question from the colleague. Vipke, could you please switch on your mic?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this input and also the very interesting information that I wasn't aware of, but I am now. So my question relates to this issue of research and strengthening research also in European alliances and so on. Are there already more concrete plans or mechanisms, steps planned, or because I was just wondering how concrete this strengthening of the research already looks or was thought out. Thank you.
I love this question too. Thank you so much for asking it, Wiebke. There are plans, yes. It's literally mentioned in the mission letters of the Executive Vice President and the Commissioner to develop and it's also mentioned in the European Skills Agenda that was launched the 5th of March, if I'm not mistaken, to develop an investment pathway for the European University Alliances that's holistic and sustainable and predictable. And I think those three terms are key for the alliances, because we cannot use our students as a test case. We need predictability. And now we don't even know how next year funding of ECIU University looks like, because we know there will be a call, there will be an evaluation. And we, of course, believe in ECIU, but we are not sure how the future looks like of ECIU. So we need predictability. We need sustainability, because to have calls every 2-3 years, it is impossible to build a long-term European university. And we need holistic funding, because how can you build a European university if you don't have this research dimension? We are research-intensive universities. Our education is research-based. Education and research are so strongly interlinked, and they should be. So it's so annoying to only have this Erasmus Plus fund where you literally cannot fund research activities. So yes, they are working on an investment pathway, but this is of course policy talk. It's not written in a work program of Horizon Europe yet. The funding is not there yet. The funding has been there in Horizon 2020 under the Science with and for Societies part of Horizon 2020, but Horizon Europe didn't follow up. What is a good signal is that in the European Research Area actions, so there is this ERA action agenda, a policy agenda, a framework for developing future funding possibilities in Horizon Europe. There is one action now on the table that's explicitly about linking research and education, and alliances are mentioned as one of the examples on how to create those synergies between Horizon Europe and Erasmus+, because it's so obvious and we always talk about creating synergies, but let's now put our money where our mouth is. Now, this is not the saying, but let's now do it. Let's now make it work. And then the alliances, that's acknowledged also by DG RTD, because of course EAC is very much in favor, but then the research colleagues in the Commission also needs to write it down in the work programs. They agree that the alliances are the obvious example on how to create the synergies with education. So the signals are positive. But if you ask, is there a call in the making yet? Do you have already seen a leaked document saying 2 million euros open for application? No, we are not there yet. To get there, we need the member states on board. So we need all of you to lobby in Vilnius, your research minister, to make sure that this money will be there soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Olga. So I believe, do we have any more questions? Vipke? No more questions from your side. Okay. So I believe, because I'm keeping an eye on our time, so I believe that we can continue with our second presenter, Niall Power, who is actually an ECIU University Director. He is from University of Aveiro in Portugal. And Niall will talk about the ECIU University story, you know, as a president. Yes, so he'll tell us a story about the university, which we are working on very hardly. And European Universities Initiative challenges higher education institutions in Europe to boldly imagine a new kind of European university. Some 65 transnational alliances are already tackling the many of varied questions and issues that such endeavors demands, not least to define what exactly a European university is supposed to be. Is it a network of higher education institutions? Does it have an independent status? How it is governed and what is its mission? In this session, I will tell the ECIU University story so far. What do rectors and presidents have to say about this plan to create ECIU University? How students and staff have reacted and what challenges lie ahead? ECIU is a network of innovative universities, that is the I in ECIU, but how much room is there for innovation when you have a centuries-old heritage behind you? Imagination, vision, hope, trust. These are some of the keys. So now, the screen is yours.
Yes, thank you, Ruta. And all this in just 15 minutes, imagine. It was a bit overambitious, maybe, on my part, but I'll certainly try and go through a little bit of the history, culture, and strategy and policy of ECIU University. I'm going to share some slides, which I can, of course, share with you then at the end of the meeting or during the meeting for the colleagues who might be interested in having another look. Can you see my slides in full screen mode? Yeah? Presentation mode? Perfect. Okay. So ECIU University. This is not a very good slide to show you. Just like Olga, she had a slide that was difficult to read. This is also difficult to read. But this is an article from a newspaper article from 1999 in the Financial Times Higher Education Supplement about ECIU, actually. And it tells the story of a new innovative consortium of institutions that was being built with great ambition for the future. And one of the great inspirers of this institution was an American researcher called Burton Clark, who in his heyday was a very important person in higher education management and the future of higher education. And he has some bullet points here, which I'd like to just tell you about, which are the base of the ECIU University that we have today. So it says here, to be innovative, a university must create strengthened steering core, which means leadership from the very, very top of the institution. Expand its developmental periphery, for example, through outreach offices working on knowledge transfer. This in 1999 was quite new, actually. But it still, of course, applies to us today through, for example, the innovation hubs that we have around Europe. Diversify its funding base as government support is cut. Well, this rings true, of course, today. We're all looking for ways to diversify our funding base, and Olga also mentioned as well the need for synergies between funding programs, which is always a huge challenge, of course, but also to get society interested in higher education. It's a huge, huge challenge for us all. And this is why things like the For You For All project are so important in order for us to work together, because working alone as individual alliances, we just won't make any difference, I think. To develop an entrepreneurial culture was always the centerpiece of ECIU University, to be innovative, to try something new, to always try something new. So this, as I said, goes back over 25 years. And then the very final one, have fun. This might sound a bit kind of strange, but having fun is super important for innovation. Having fun is super important to getting into the hearts and minds, to win the minds of teachers and staff and students, especially students as well, but also us staff, we have a lot of parties in ECIU, I have to say. We do dancing, we do music together, and we just have a lot of fun together. When we meet up, it's the best time. And I agree with Burton Clark on that. Having a culture of enjoying what we're doing and enthusiasm, I think, is really at the center of a good success for us. So on the left here, you have the EU alliances, what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be challenge-based universities acting as role models, transnational knowledge, and creating teams of students and teachers addressing societal challenges. So this, all of this that I've said before and what we see here on the left translates into our goal in ECIU of being a leading reference in higher education in Europe in order to create flexible learning that makes a difference. And we're very keen on making a difference in ECIU. And it's not easy to make a difference, but we are working very closely with students and companies and other kind of stakeholders from outside our network to be involved in societal challenges and in also, of course, micro-credentialing in order to make that difference as much as we can. We do have one of our work packages focused just on impact in order to measure impact, in order to monitor impact. And we feel that the impact that we have is a measure of our success at the end of the day, independently of what the EU Commission might or the executive agency might ask for in the final report. For us, the measure of impact is the measure of success. And so just like in a chess match, you need to position yourself strategically in order to win a chess match. So we need to position ourselves strategically as well. And these are some of the strategic positionings that we have. We work to produce these productive partnerships with other organizations. We work to engage students in learning towards incentives. So we incentivize students through mobility, staff through mobility, and also through peer learning and opportunities for professional development. So we work to engage. In fact, the name of our online platform for offering our learning is called the Engage platform. We also strategically try to position ourselves to be distinguished as an excellent learning experience. The student, the learning experience for us needs to be very, very strong. And we have a work package in our project also totally dedicated to experience. And it's not the IT work package, it's the experience work package. And we have two teams working, one on experience strategy and the other on experience rollout. So that's important. And in fact, again, our IT system is called the Digital Experience Platform, DXP, the Digital Experience Platform. So that's very important for us. Connecting programs to societal needs, I think I just said something about that. Mainly the needs of the regions. So our original need and why we're a network in the first place is because our regions need a lot of boost. They need extra assistance from the local universities, and the local universities have a societal obligation. We're public universities, so we have a societal obligation to our regions, and to give them access as well to a European network is a huge benefit, of course, for them. And then working on a European approach to learning for everybody through our degree programs, but especially through our micro-credentials and challenges. And now very much focusing as well on continuous professional development. So for professionals in enterprise, for people working, reskilling and upskilling is a huge need in Europe, as everybody around the table knows. So that's where we're positioning ourselves, let's say, strategically in ECIU. So, well, can a European university really work? Well, it's not as easy as I might make it sound. The challenge is that we don't determine necessarily our own destiny. We have a lot of interference, let's say, from outside. So we're made up of 13 individual universities, each with their own different goals, each with their own projects and programs and priorities and needs. So that's a very complex challenge. And we're part of a wider European higher education area, European research area, which is, of course, bringing pressure to bear on us in the decisions we make and the policies we follow. And rightly so. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that that's a reality that we cannot ignore. It's also true that we're subject to political and economic circumstances that are way beyond our control. We know the winds of change from east and from west are now blowing on top of Europe, and we are subject to all of these new circumstances, and we don't control them. We don't even influence them very much as universities. We can influence higher education policy, higher education topics, but it's very, very difficult to have a political voice. We're not politically minded, let's put it like that. We experience constant change as well. Laws are changing, society is changing. Just this morning, I was talking to my wife about how young people who are learning music in schools, in like 30 years ago, when my wife was learning piano, there was a class of students, and they were all pretty good at the piano. I mean, they learned the piano well, and they became quite competent. Now, piano class has less students, and the students are useless. I mean, they really, really struggle to learn the piano. And we think that there are societal changes going on. There are changes going on in society. The way, for example, kids play, they play less outdoors and things like this. This all has a huge impact on the way they learn and the way they develop. So yeah, there are changes going on, and we are trying to adapt and work out those kind of changes. And I suppose finally you could say that there are many other challenges out there. Legal status of the universities is a massive challenge. We know that from a recent pilot project that we were part of in ECIU, trying to learn what kind of legal status a European university could have. Funding, of course, the synergies between the programs have been mentioned, and many other, of course, challenges. So the question then is, I suppose, as I said before, can a European university really work? So the way universities are run differs from country to country. Many of the universities date back to medieval times, and it's not easy to transform. The former rector of the University of Twente likened universities to an oil tanker. You know, they move very slowly and they change direction very, very slowly. So yeah, there's also at the same time a new sense of urgency in Europe, in the higher education centre. We can't depend on the models of the past. Students are asking for new kinds of learning. We need to adapt new models to prepare for a very sophisticated future that awaits us. And it's not also a myth that employers are looking for talent before degrees. They are looking for talent before degrees. Many of the world's leading multinational corporations have created their own training facilities in order to develop that talent, and they don't need universities. Quite frankly, they don't need universities in many corners. Really, we are convinced that the movement of academics throughout Europe for learning and research is the key to our ability to create a new dynamics, or to continue creating the dynamics that ensures the appearance of a strong higher education sector. To the question, can a European university really work? I think the answer is it has to. It just has to work. The students are asking for it. The teachers want new, more dynamic, more robust and less bureaucratic universities. The rectors of the universities are the strongest advocates of change. It sometimes surprises people that the rectors are the ones that are really the change drivers. They're the ones who have the best access to knowledge and information about the higher education sector. And they're the ones who are really driving us. When we applied for our first pilot, and I go to end now, Ruta. So when we applied for our first pilot in in 2019, so this was the pilot project for the universities. We had a group, a small group of a working group, and we were in Brussels, and we were on a weekend, like brainstorming, what will we do for this new European universities? We were thinking of micro-credentials and challenge-based learning, but we didn't really know what we were doing. And we came up with what we thought was an innovative idea for European universities that would really fill the bill. And we wrote it all down, and we made lovely slides, and we sent it off to the rectors, who were waiting for the answers that we were going to give. And we sent them off our ideas, and they sent us back and say, you guys have to start again. You're not innovative enough. You're not creative enough. You really have to think outside the box, please. So the rectors were the real innovators, actually. They're the ones that we really look to for inspiration. So and I suppose to conclude, I would repeat what I said. Can the European University really work? I think the answer is it must work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Niall. Thank you very much. Yeah, actually, I remember myself when because I was involved in the first stage of the project, and I was reading, the information about the future of the project, about the aims which we should achieve. And yeah, I had, many interesting thoughts in my head, how, when, why, yeah. So it's really interesting, and I'm extremely happy that the project is going on, and it's going on very successfully. Dear colleagues, do we have any questions? Okay, Ines, could you please? Oh, two questions, Wiebke as well. So Ines, could you please start?
Hi, good afternoon. Well, thank you. From listening to you, I wanted to ask what if you could elaborate on the type of societal challenges that you pick up to engage with. And when you say that you were incentivized to think outside the box, what was outside the box? What did you find outside the box? Let's put it this way, like concretely, what was the answer to what you were looking for?
Okay, thanks, Inish. Let's see if I can answer those questions. The second question was, what was outside the box? Well, the rectors, when they saw our original idea was to create some challenges that would work like projects on the degree programs. That was where we were kind of settling, and that the micro courses that we wanted to create may someday become micro credentials in the future. And what they were saying is, no, micro credentials are the new qualification in Europe for the future. This was in 2019. This was before the European approach to micro credentials was published. So they were saying micro-credentials are the new qualification, a digital qualification, and we want that in a digital passport for all of the students. So they were going way beyond our ambition and saying, let's have more ambition. Let's try and create a new kind of qualification for Europe and lead a movement in Europe towards micro-credentials. Now, we don't lead alone this micro-credential movement. We're part of the leading pack, let's say, of the micro-credential movement. But that's thanks to the rector's incentives that they gave us at that particular occasion. The challenges, how do we do the challenges? Well, we have in each of our universities what we call a key account manager, which is basically a challenge coordinator. And the challenge coordinator is the contact person for businesses. And they work with researchers, teachers, and students of the university to connect with these companies. And they ask the companies, and they ask the companies, what is the biggest societal challenge you have? What we want is the big idea, the large scale idea. What is the big problem you have? that you're facing, that you want, let's say, solved, and they will tell us the big idea, and the big idea will be the source or the beginning point, let's say, of a work that a team will address. So we based on this idea, this big idea, we offer up this challenge to our partners and to our students, to our researchers, and we say, do you want to join a challenge? And they will say yes, they want to join the challenge. They sign up for a challenge on our platform, on our website. And they sign up for the challenge, and this team then will come together, and they will then start defining what the challenge is, and then they will start working on solutions. So they will basically use challenge-based learning approach, and that's the learning context. That's the learning context. And so we've done. I don't remember the figures off the top of my head. I collected them for a different purpose recently, but if I'm not mistaken, it's 87 challenges since 2019. We've done 87 challenges, and we've had 132 organizations altogether involved. So that's and many of those challenges then are recognized for the students' degree program. Some are not. Some are just extracurricular as well. And the biggest challenge that we have now as an organization is how to harness the results and then tell the impact story that comes with the challenge. That's something we're working on right now. How do you tell the impact story? How do you actually, we know that there is impact. We know that people have actually told us that there is a strong impact, but we have to kind of harness that and see what we can do with all of these results. A couple of weeks ago in Brussels, Olga here organized a fantastic event on exactly the impact of the work of ECIU University, with examples from all the different universities, and we invited people from various parts of the Brussels community and from people around ECIU to join. So that's the kind of thing that we're trying to do: impact events and impact storytelling. And we're going to use video as well to try and tell stories using video to try and harness. But we're not 100% sure yet, and we will be using the expansion phase, or the bridge phase from 2026 to 2028 to maybe focus a lot on this impact storytelling. Thanks, Ines.
Thank you very much. And we also have Wiebke with a question, so please go on.
Yeah, thank you again. My question relates to the buzzword teachers. And as far as I understood from your slide, you were talking about university teachers, right?
Correct.
And I was wondering, does ECIU also work in teacher education or in teacher training? Is this part of your work in the Alliance, or also the outreach into schools and the younger European generation?
No, actually, we don't. We don't have specific activities within the ECIU University work plan for reaching into schools. No. We do have a working group on teacher education. So they are a regular, but it's a professional development group. So because apart from our work packages, we have many professional development groups, communities around ECIU that meet together, and one of them is specifically on secondary school education, primary and secondary school education. But as part of our project work plan, we don't have a specific activity or goal to reach into schools. No. It's a very nice idea, actually. It's a very nice idea, reaching out to the younger populations and trying to instill a sense of European identity, and to help them to see the opportunity that they have by going to university at all. I mean, I think that's part of our obligation as university people, to encourage younger people to go into education. But no, ECIU University is not engaged specifically in that. unless anybody here from ECIU can tell me differently, but from my understanding, no.
Could you maybe share a contact address or something? Because I would really like to get in touch with the people from the working group and hear more about what they've been doing, thinking about.
Sure, yeah, that's a person from the University of Stavanger in Norway, and I can share that contact with you. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Can you do that now? And can you share the contact in the chat box as well?
Well, I can. While
If
the next
not-
speaker is speaking,
if
I will
not,
look it
yeah.
up. I'll look it
Yeah.
up while the next speaker is speaking, and I'll stick it in the.
Thank you very much. And I see a second question from Ines. Ines, the question was about the case study or example of the challenges. So did we already answer or?
Yeah, so because it was within Niall's reply, but I thought he might have seen it. So was if among such challenges, like such 87 challenges, if you already have like a case study you can provide or a couple, like to understand more in practice how that works, you know, like examples of such challenges that are being dealt with.
There's a book actually. There's a book written about this, so I can send you the reference about that. No problem. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And we have Alison from South Africa. Please go on, Alison, with your question. So nice to see you here.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I just have a quick question about, perhaps not so quick, but how important would the global partnerships be within the European alliances? So Stellenbosch University is a global partner in Utopia, and I was just wondering, when you had the recent EU for All alliance meeting here in Brussels, how pertinent was the whole question about the global partners? And when you mentioned Mexico for the ECIU, immediately I said, oh, it must be Tech Monterrey, because they are a very popular partner, especially in Europe. And then I quickly went onto your website, and it was, yes, Tech Monterrey. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, this is a difficult question, Alison, because Tec de Monterrey, of course, have been members of ECIU University for several years, and we're working out still how to do this well, because we've had in our network in the past other universities from around the world. We've had the University of Newcastle from Australia in our network, and then they joined and they left. And then we've had also, for a short time, we've had Hong Kong Polytechnic in our network, and they joined and left. And we had a huge opportunity with the government of South Korea to develop partnerships with universities in South Korea, and that came and went. And we're trying to work out. So the question that partners from outside European universities, European Union have is, well, what's in it for us, you know? And so the expectation, of course, is very high. They come and they see that, yes, we have these universities who are offering micro-credentials. But when we look around Asia, they're doing it. They've been doing it longer than us. They're doing it better than us. They're using AI now in places like Singapore to accompany students' personal development and to help students make choices. We're working on doing this. They've been doing it for like 2 years already. So it's not like as if here in Europe, you know, we hold the keys to knowledge that the rest of the world doesn't have. The question they're asking is, well, what's in it for us? So while they are interested in the European Union, because we have models of cooperation that are of interest to them as regions, and we have also, of course, we have a population that's of interest to over 350 million people in our union, and we also have, of course, a history of higher education, and we have very good links with the UK, and we've got pretty decent links with the United States as well. But it's not clear yet what's in it for them. So when we're working with them, even when we're working with Tech de Monterrey, we're still trying to work out with Tech de Monterrey, you know, what is the value added for tech in our network. Now, we see great added value for tech, and they see great added value for us because having European partner from Mexican university is really important. They have very, very important strategic interests all around Europe in the research area. But in education, it's not always so clear. The question is for us, what's in it for us in Europe? There's a lot in it for us in Europe. Access to new markets, and understanding how higher education, the dynamics of higher education in South America, in Mexico and South America is super important for us. You know, we're going to launch, we're launching at the moment a continuous education program for ECIU learners, for lifelong learners, especially for alumni. And we're learning a lot from Tech de Monterrey about how to do this. Yeah, so so we have to approach this from perspective of what's in it for them and what's in it for us, and try and find out something that's of interest. Olga, you might want to add to that or help me a little bit to define better, or is it a question?
No, I think you have a very good perspective now because you've seen all the international partners coming and going. You have a long history in ECIU. Just to maybe add the For You For All dimension, because I think the ECIU case is quite unique. We already had international partners and then we became an alliance. And what I see from many other alliances, they use the alliance, the partnership as a brand to get international partners and to get more connections globally. So it's actually, among other alliances, a big topic. And we even organized an event, an alliance event, a side event to the EAIE conference last September in Toulouse, fully dedicated to international collaboration. It went straight to my heart what was discussed in the panel about a collaboration with Ukraine, because there you see the alliances are also diplomatic tools to ensure that the collaboration with institutions in Ukraine continues to take place, and as a signal that we consider them as part of the European education area. The Commission was also very supportive there, but also in Africa, there are many partnerships with partners from Africa. And also, but this is a different taste again, with partners from Switzerland or the UK, very strong partners, very European, but they are not part of the EU, of course. So there are many different dimensions, and I think there are many different experiences. Because I think the experience from other alliances is maybe more, they intensified international collaboration because of the alliance. And we also, in For You For All, we have actually a topical group. So we bring together all the experts on international collaboration of the alliances in a group that only discusses this international collaboration. So I expect much more exchange on exactly this topic. Let me know if you want to reach out to the chair of this topical group, because I can link you.
Thank you very much, Niall. Thank you very much, Olga, for your support. And I'm sorry, I need to keep an eye on time as well. So before we move for the third presentation, I would like to ask you to switch on your cameras if that is possible. And we would like to make a picture of all of the participants of this SGroup online cafe. Is that possible? To switch on the cameras? Okay, thank you very much.
This is the moment we all dread, Luca.
Pardon?
This is the moment everybody dreads.
Okay, so just few moments. Would you please smile as well?
It's a very long smile.
I'm sorry.
Take many to make sure that we look good.
Yeah, so thank you very much, because we have quite many participants, 2 pages of participants. Yeah, so I wanted to do my best. So thank you very much for your patience. And now we are moving to our third presenter, Asta Donorena. She is the head of EduLab Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning at Kaunas University of Technology. And Asta will explore the pressing challenges faced by higher education institutions in an era of rapid technological advancements, artificial intelligence, and evolving labor market and societal demands. She will share insights how universities can foster flexibility in teaching and learning models, drawing from Kaunas University of Technology experience in implementing, together with ECIU University, developed concept of flexible learning pathways. The presentation will highlight key strategies to enhance adaptability and personalization in education, ensuring that students develop the necessary competences for a combination of challenge-based learning and micro-credentials. So, dear Asta, the screen is yours.
Thank you so much. So probably you can see my screen. If yes, Ruta is nodding, so everything is correct. So good afternoon, everyone. So, I'm so happy to be here, and definitely I'm really grateful for the opportunity to talk what is really important for our university of Kaunas University of Technology, and definitely it is related with the whole journey of ECIU University, what we have developed along the whole process of ECIU University development, along all the discussions that we have worked together, along all the opportunities what we have created for our learners, not only for the students, but also for the lifelong learners. So today I will continue the talk, and definitely I'm really grateful to Olga and Nile. And we didn't agree to all together what we will be talking about, but definitely it is related with the previous presentations, and something was already mentioned, and I will highlight some of the key aspects. So what we have already tested, how it works at our university, and what kind of experience we have already now, what we have learned, and probably what kind of future insights we can take alongside thinking about the flexible learning pathways. So I will shortly present what do we develop at Kaunas University of Technology, and how it looks like in the daylight, and what our students can experience already now. So the flexible learning pathway, it is already was mentioned by Olga. So together with all the partners, we have developed the concept itself. So what does it mean, the flexible learning pathways for ECIU University and for Kaunas University as well? So that it is related with a personalized pathway. It is related with a possibility for the students to take the ownership of the study process and to study whatever they feel important for their own career, for their own learning journey, to tailor their own progress in their own way, in their own, mode as they feel. So this idea embraced us a lot, and we decided to discuss how we can invite our students, invite our learners to become real partners in the learning process. So together with ECIU University, we embraced the concept of flexible learning pathway, and we decided to empower our students to make choices, to design their own learning experience, and definitely to help them to equip or to gain all those competences that are needed for the labor market and definitely for the future. So the flexible learning pathways itself, so the architecture of a flexible learning pathway is an innovative education model where the learner is a central figure, but together with researchers, business partners, public organization, and citizens, they create a relevant and really innovative, I have to say, solutions for the real life challenges. So as there was mentioned, what kind of an impact it has a huge impact on the society at large. And as ECIU University and Kaunas University of Technology, we are trying to measure this impact with different ways, within different aspects. So the flexible learning pathway, as I mentioned, it is a central student or learner central approach. And definitely the learner can understand the current need of some of the competences of skills. It has a possibility to engage within ECIU community, to receive a personal offering for competence development, also to have a personalized mentoring, to support definitely, so it can support different opportunities to our learner, to assess the learning, to assess the competence, and we decided, we agreed that all those elements should end up in the competence passport. So many details are around the learner, but at the same time, we are thinking how to make this process really smooth for the learner and to gain, especially to focus on the competences that are needed. So the flexible learning pathway includes two key elements, as it was already mentioned. So we are ECIU network focusing on the challenge-based learning, where the students are working on the real-world challenges. And the other thing and the other aspect, it is related with micromodels. Micromodels are the smaller targeted learning pieces or units, which are designed to help our learners to gain specific skills or knowledge which are needed to solve a challenge. So the combination of those two aspects gives our students the chance to develop really relevant, up-to-date skills. And definitely they have a possibility to keep their own freedom on the learning journey. So the idea behind this model is to create for our students not to follow the core field of the study, but also try to complement the challenges, the challenge-based learning experience, and the micromodel learning experience as well. And we feel that this opportunity helps our students to develop the competences like teamwork, like project management, like time management, many others, while they are applying their own knowledge and expertise in the real world contexts which are presenting by the different challenges. On the top of that, so students can integrate micromodels into their studies. So as I mentioned, these are really short and focused learning experience. And at the same time, I have to mention that micromodels are really intensive learning experience. And definitely it is a really targeted learning experience, especially thinking that if students are needed some of the expertise, some of the knowledge, and some of the competences to solve the challenge, so they can already find the solution or opportunities to study and to gain those knowledge in order to solve the challenge. So currently at Kaunas University of Technology, we have more than 78 study programs, which already incorporated at least one course based on the challenge-based learning. So as the university within ECIU network, so we saw that it is a really wide adoption of a challenge-based learning, and we feel that the challenge-based learning methodology itself, it was recognized by our academic community, and definitely it transformed the higher education itself. So how do we teach? What do we teach? How we bring different opportunities to be the owner of the study process to our students. So how it works? So definitely I don't want to stop a lot on the challenge-based learning, but as ECIU network, so we chosen this approach because of it is hands-on experience, inquiry-driven approach where students work on the real-world problems. So we feel that unlike all the traditional models, so students have to define the problems, explore the solution, but the most important thing that they are implementing their ideas, that they can implement their own solutions, they can test those solutions, and at the end to reflect so how it works and what kind of an impact those solutions has to the real world challenges to the society at large. So we decided to work in a progressive way and to present our students opportunity to learn step by step. So the challenge-based learning itself, so we envision that it progress through 3 different levels. So through introductory level, so first of all, students has a possibility to be acquainted with a methodology itself and start approaching the challenge-based learning. So it is a guided support for our students to begin a learning journey with a challenge-based learning. So the other aspect, what we acknowledge that we need to make a progress for our students. So we decided to invite our students to evolve a little bit within exploratory level, so which is focusing on the independent problem solving, where students can have a possibility to apply the knowledge with an open-ended challenge. And the most important level, we have to say that it is a mastery level when students along their learning journey can be invited to autonomously to solve the challenge, to explore the critical thinking, and definitely to prepare themselves for the complex problem solving. So we saw as university itself, and within discussion with ECIU network, we felt that this progression definitely helps our students to develop the key competences, starting from understanding the challenge-based learning approach itself, methodology itself, and later on experiencing much more complicated challenges along the learning journey. In addition, with flexible learning pathways, so we incorporated the micro models. So as I mentioned, the short targeted courses for the students, which provides really specific knowledge and skills. So micro models offers to our students really high flexibility. They can allow to gain those specialized competencies without, committing to the full semester course. So we decided that the micro model, it is a 1 to 3 credit short learning experience. And definitely it has to help our students to solve the challenge. So micro models can be integrated into the study programs as an alternative model, but at the same time, it could be offered beyond the curriculum to our students who are especially working on the challenge and solving the challenge. So what is interesting about the micro models that it is so we open the possibility not only for the students to choose them and study micro models, but also as a ECIU network. So we opened a possibility for the lifelong learners also to study in those really short targeted learning opportunities. So we feel that this aspect is really worth to have, especially when you are receiving a feedback not only from the students but from the lifelong learners who has already some of the experience, and it helps also to develop and improve micro models what was created by university teachers as an offer for ECIU and as an offer for the lifelong learners. So here you see some of the examples. So we offer a really wide variety of challenges and micro models. So it ranges so from the local and regional to really open and wide challenges and global challenges. So with an integration of micro models, so challenges allows our students to really to develop some of the competences and knowledge in a more holistic and adaptive way. So for example, so our students at Kaunas University of Technology, they have an opportunity to take a part at the ECIU University Challenges. And at the same time, they have a possibility to develop their competences through micro models. And it helps students not only to focus on the local aspects, on the local problems, but it helps also to gain different global perspectives as well. So for now, so Kaunas University of Technology, we have 29 learning opportunities, which is from 1 to 3 CTS credits amount. So, and definitely both and Kaunas University of Technology students and ECIU, all the network students can join and can study in those micro models. So at the university itself, so it was quite a long journey to explain so how we envision, but at the same time, so we feel that and we're experiencing that the flexible learning pathway so is embedded into the study programs. So when our students has the possibility to study at the same time and to solve a challenge, so models related with a challenge, at the same time to gain different competences through the micro models. So we are trying to combine those two elements in the study program itself. So we allocated 18 credits for doing so, and we released those 18 credits for the opportunity for our students just to become an owners of this journey. So during the first 2 semesters, we ask our students to complete the challenge and micro models together. So it means that they have to take their own responsibility, not only to choose the challenge, but at the same time to have a consultation together with a teacher to choose the right micro models which can help to solve the challenge. And later on, so when students are progressing during this learning pathway, they can have a responsibility take the responsibility by their own at the last semester to solve a challenge without any recommendation of choosing the micro models. But at the same time, there is a still possibility for our students to choose micro models and to study in order just to solve a challenge. We have to say that micro models are really popular at the university and at the ECIU University as well. So we have lots of learners who choosing the micro models and who enrolling into the challenges and at the same time solving challenges and also studying in the micro models as well. So here you see the undergraduate level. So for the postgraduate level, so we have also developed an opportunity for our master students so to choose the pathway or the track, which we are calling the challenge-based innovation learning pathway, so which has the similar structure as we do for the undergraduate level, but at the same time, so students can also freely decide whatever they would like to study, what kind of competences they would like to add to the already existing curriculum. And definitely they have a freedom to choose challenges and micro models, which are really important for their own career pathway. So probably I have to Ruta, you have to be strict on time, and I do not have so many minutes to talk about all our experience. But what we have learned, so we have learned lots of different opportunities and lots of different probably remarks from this process. Already 5 study programs at Kaunas University of Technology. They have already launched this pathway, and we are working on that. And we see that the most important thing, what we have to acknowledge, it is a strong institutional support, what we have received, but also at the same time, we acknowledge that the strong partnership between ECIU network, it is a big added value, a big support that our students can have a possibility to choose and to find the right micro models, the right combination of skills and knowledge that they need in order to solve the challenge. At the same time, so we have to recognize that scalability, it is of course, it is a challenge for us as an institution. We have to develop the ecosystem for our teachers and for our study programs. We have to develop a support system in order to get to the change. So this is a really important aspect for us to acknowledge what we have learned. And one more thing, what I would like to mention, that communication with our student, it is another aspect, because sometimes students can be lost in the process itself, and the study program directors, sorry, who has a direct contact with the students, sorry, they have to keep the most important role to communicate. So sorry, I am losing the voice. So it is probably the time to stop and to say thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Asta. We'll give you some time to regain your voice again. And dear colleagues, if you have questions to ask, please wait until the end of the meeting, because now I would like to invite our 4th presenter, Vilma Koroblienė, who is the Head of Research and Innovation Project Center at Kaunas University of Technology, and she will share the experience of our university in research and innovation projects activities, highlighting the perspective of being a part of the ECIU University. And Vilma will present the possibilities and challenges engaging researchers to build strong and long-lasting networks among ECIU University institutions to connect researchers for creative collaborations within the main topics based on common research and innovation agenda. So, dear Vilma, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ruta. Thank you, colleagues. I'm more than glad to be here with you and hope that you can see my screen. And I will try to be as much as I can to be efficient as our time is ticking away. So today I would like to tell you our story from the perspective of Kaunas University of Technology. And first of all, I would like also to introduce myself and also thank you, Ruta. She made it very perfectly. I'm engaged in project management activities and I'm one of the fans of ECIU as well. So this is me, and also this is my great team. I have it at our university. We are 5 ladies. We are working with national, international research and innovation, and also study project activities and supporting our researchers in their daily life related to project management. And today I'm going to tell you the story of how we are catching our funds, how are fishing our grants from different programs within national and international scope, and what tools we are suggesting to our researchers, what lakes, what seas we are offering for them to look if we are looking for some funding resources. So let's look at our research and innovation project activities at our university. And we Project Research and Innovation Center, a non-academic unit at our university, and we are supporting our researchers in preparation of project proposals in research and innovation and project activities, and supporting them in administrative activities related to project management and coordination as well. And we are looking for funding possibilities, scouting for new opportunities, supporting proposal preparation, negotiation with funding agencies, ministries in Lithuania. Also, we are preparing the grant agreement and supporting our researchers in these activities and so on. And here in the slide, you can see the structure of our main activities when we are collaborating with our researchers in proposal preparation stages. And how we are doing this, and some of the examples. And of course, here we have Horizon Europe program, Research and Innovation program. How we are doing and how we are acting at our university. And I would like to share that we are top 1 institution in Lithuania in program Horizon 2020, and we are top 2nd institution in Lithuania if we are comparing with all the institutions in the program Horizon Europe. And let me kindly share with you some statistics. And in one event, Europe Commission presented for us 1 statistic figures, and we ranked our university as the first among all Lithuanian participating institutions in terms of funding. And we presented for us that we have attracted more than 37 million euros. Yes, and this is totally true. This is the figures from the first funding framework program. And here we are also have the statistics that Kaunas University of Technology already have signed grant agreements with a value of more than 14 million euros. Of course, if we would compare our figures with Twente University or any other universities among ECIU, we would not be the first or even in the top 10 institutions, but in Lithuania, we are proud of this, and we are really active in Horizon Europe program as well. And the main thematic priorities are climate, energy, mobility, digital, industry, space, and health thematic spheres. And here you can see that slide, that statistics, that our university is the 2nd institution among all Lithuanian institutions who are acting in Horizon Europe program. And here I'm presenting in the slide our participation in Horizon Europe project based on pillars and clusters or other priorities of Horizon Europe program. And also, I would like to share with you statistics as I'm an economist, so I like statistics and figures very much. So here you can see in the slide also that the biggest part of our projects are dedicated to widening participation and strengthening the European research area. And then you can see that global challenges and European industrial competitiveness listed in the second place. And then we have other pillars and the parts of Horizon Europe program. And here in the slide also we have some statistics. And in the pie, you can see the amount of funding resources who we have attracted also from national and international competitive research and innovation project activities. And these indicated values are for the whole periods of the projects. And here you have also the statistics of the last year amount of our project activities at our university. And we have implemented in the last year 29 Horizon Europe project activities and so on. You have another statistics of our project amounts. And here I'm sharing with you the distribution between faculties and institutes at our university as well. And here you can see that the chemical technology faculty at our university has the greatest amount of Horizon Europe project activities. And here we can see that we have 37 projects, Horizon Europe project, and more than 400 partnerships among all these project activities. And what we are doing, we are looking broader. We are looking for different opportunities. That's why we are involved in European Consortium of Innovative Universities. And also my colleagues already shared with you these all statistics. You know how many partners are involved in this ECIU consortium. Then our university has joined this consortium, and it is a possibility for us for project development as well. And today in my slides and in my presentation, I promise you to show possibilities and challenges as well. So as a possibility, we can see that we have networks for collaboration in international research and innovation project activities. And this is highly important for our university and how we are doing this. And I would like to share some examples of working tools which are used at our ECIU consortium. Of course, here we have our ECIU University under European Union Initiative University Alliances. And I would like also to share with you that we have at our ECIU Alliance Strategic European Project Office. It was the initiative initiated within the first Erasmus Plus ECIU University project. And here we have also Olga Vessel's ECIU Brussels office. Also, we have funding advisor, and we have research and innovation groups, and also education cooperation group from every partner institution. And we are working. We have monthly meetings, online meetings, and we have at least 1 or 2 physical meetings once per year. And that's why we are collaborating and initiating all project activities within all our project partner institutions. And I would like also to share with you a very good initiative which was implemented under Horizon 2020 project program, and it was ECIU University Research Institute for Smart European Regions. It was ended in 2024, and it was a very good initiative for initiating and for boosting research and innovation activities within our ECIU members. We prepared joint research and innovation agenda. We concentrated on Sustainable Development Goal 11, and within these thematic fields, which you can see in the slide: energy and sustainability, circular economy, transport and mobility, resilient communities, and citizen science as well. Then we identified ECIU researchers who are involved in all these thematic fields, prepared also the SEED program, which supported initiatives related to Cotutela PhD program, also blended mobility for creating networks and for making them stronger within ECIU partner institutions. And then we have the last but not least, Smarter Seed project activities. And we had as well research field coordinators. They have coordinated every of these thematical fields. And also we had researchers map. And within this researchers map, we had more than 3,000 researchers within all these thematic areas. And they collaborated, prepared proposals, publications, and other activities. And also it was initiated within Smarter project ECIU conference. It was the first ECIU research conference, face-to-face conference with a lot of participants in Barcelona. And after that conference, we had second, and this year we will have the third conference in Trento. This is very great initiative when researchers and academics are communicating, meet each other face-to-face in order to engage in collaboration. Also, we have trainings, sharing of good examples, workshops, and we are doing it with smiles because we are real friends, real collaborators, and we appreciate it a lot. Then we have synergies between education and research activities. We have it, but still not enough. Also, my colleagues mentioned it as well. And I would like also to share with you today the success story in creating Center of Excellence under Horizon Europe program with members from ECIU as well. And at our university, we have coordinated project, Center of Excellence of Artificial Intelligence for Sustainable Living and Working. We are collaborating in this project with 4 partners within Lithuania and 2 partners from ECIU, Hamburg University and Tampere University. And this project is funded by Horizon Europe program and by National Funds of Lithuania. The total value of the project is almost 30 million euro, and we are creating the Center of Excellence, and we are renovating the building as well. Planned opening is in 2026. And I will share my slides as well, and you can find another information, more information about this initiative as well. And here you can see also in the slide the expected areas of expertise within this project. I'm one of the project's manager as well, but I'm related and I'm responsible for management and administration issues. And here you can see in the slide Agnė Paulauskaitė Tarasevičienė, who is professor in artificial intelligence. So if you are interested in collaborating with us within these areas, you are more than welcome to contact us. And if we are speaking about the challenges, yes, we have challenges as well. Researchers' engagement, but we are solving it with physical meeting face-to-face, because I told you that how to solve this challenge, the best way, to my opinion, is to become real friends. And I believe that we within ECIU consortium are real friends. And then, of course, limited funds, internal and external as well. No or limited calls dedicated to research and innovation activities for European Union universities alliances. Small and big players, maybe, yes, within ECIU university members, we have advanced and widening entities as well. But I would say that we have solved this challenge and we became friends and we understand each other very well. If not, we are solving this problem as well. And of course, we have different mindset, and also Niall told that there is some issues related to legal disparities or any other, but it's a challenge and it needs time to solve this issue as well. And another challenge, continuation and sustainability. But I would say that within ECIU, continuation and sustainability is not a challenge. It is a possibility to all of us, because I already have mentioned that we are collaborating, and we are collaborating with the hearts, with our smiles. We believe in this initiative, and only if we believe in this initiative, it could be made and may produce for our networks good results. So this is some examples of how we are doing it, and you can see that we are engaged doing in it because ECIU University connects us for life. I believe in this. And if you have any opportunities for collaboration within research and innovation or study project activities with our university or with ECIU, we are more than welcome. My time is ticking away. And if you will see through the lens of ECIU and through our university, you can see that we have small but very beautiful country. So we are inviting you. You are welcome in Lithuania, and we are looking for collaboration with all of you or with several of you. So I'm more than glad to share my slides. I stop sharing and I come back to you.
Dear Vilma, thank you very much for your presentation. Dear colleagues, now if you have some questions or comments, please do that now, because I see that our time is ticking a bit late, but still I believe, because I see you with us, so I believe the session is interesting. Vipke, please.
Thanks to both of the speakers. Very interesting and also much food for thought, I guess, for me. I have a question for Asta. And I'm totally in favor and totally convinced of the challenge-based learning and the flexible learning pathways. But at the same time, I do see really huge challenges regarding the study programs. Those flexible learning pathways are supposed to be integrated into, and so on and so forth. And I'm especially thinking about humanities and school teacher education, as I mentioned before. So I just wanted to ask from your expertise, probably 2, 3, 4, how much you come up with recommendations for going a first step into the direction of implementing those flexible learning pathways, the challenge-based learning unit, and so on, probably especially in humanities teacher education programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. So it is really important, and probably I have to add what Niall was sharing. So we do not working on the teachers' pedagogy itself, but at the same time, when we are embedding something new at the university level, so it has an impact on those study programs as well. But we started from the beginning. So probably the recommendation is to have the ecosystem for our teachers community in order to understand what does it mean by the challenge-based learning. So what we have developed at our university, so we created a course for our teachers, a training course, in order to know the methodology. What does it mean by challenge-based learning, how to work with the challenge-based learning, and so on. Later on, we established some of the follow-up programs when the didactic experts are working together with the teachers in order to help them and to change the curriculum together. Because at the same time, we have to realize that we have many changes in the study process. Just starting from the teacher perspective, from the learner perspective, and so on. So it was the beginning steps. It was like taken like that. Later on, we had lots of discussions within the study programs. So what does it mean, the flexible learning pathway? So how we envision as a university. So what kind of a changes in the curriculum and the process we have to have. So it took for us almost a year to discuss and to find the model, how we can work together. And at the same time, so simultaneously, all the support system has been presented to the study program directors, to the teachers who has embedded different methodologies. Also, I have to say that we have the full system, how we were creating a micro models. It was also a full package. So I think that the journey starting with a big support package for the whole academic community, and within lots of discussions and agreements. How do we see what we have to negotiate about? and later on, just starting with the small steps. Already now, so five more study programs will start from the next year, and we are collecting all the feedback. We are discussing a lot within students, within academic community to see how to make this process much more smooth. But I think that the support system is the huge benefit and the most important thing that our academic community received from ECIU University itself and from EduLab, for example, as we are operating at Kaunas University of Technology.
Thank you, Asta. I see that Arnim is wishing to ask his question, so please go on.
Thank you very much, Ruta. Hello, everyone. Beyond the operational progress, there is something that we have discussed last week again at the annual meeting of the European University Association among presidents and rectors and vice chancellors of many universities in Europe and European universities and heads of national rectors conferences. And my question would, I have two short legal questions, and they point at the two most critical development status in European universities, and that is first the joint degree. So where are the discussions within ECIU about the joint ECIU degree that goes beyond everything that we know from Erasmus Mundus joint master degrees, etc.? And second, how could this possibly contribute to the discussion of a joint European degree? And the second question is another legal question, and that is where does the discussion stand within ECIU on a joint legal status of the alliance? Thank you.
So probably I'm watching to Olga and Niall, so maybe.
Well,
Yes,
I can take a question about the joint degree, and maybe Olga, you could talk about the legal status. Yeah. In fact, that's why I had my hand up, so I can lower my hand exactly to make a mention as well of joint degrees and European degree label. So it's a very tricky one, because our experience of joint degrees in ECIU, we have at the moment 5 double degrees going on and 3 Erasmus Mundus among partners, but they're not ECIU led. They are bottom-up initiatives. And what we've learned from them and from previous experiences in ECIU is that they're very expensive and very difficult to sustain beyond funding period. And they do attract students from outside the European Union, but they don't attract European students as much. They're very bureaucratic, and that is that they're very, very heavy on in terms of the bureaucracies and the difficulties that teachers face. There's a lot of time invested in trying to overcome the legal obstacles, the financial obstacles, and they're becoming less and less popular among academic staff. I don't know about management staff, but among academic staff, less and less popular. And there's a lot of information going around informally about how complicated they can be. And it's a bit off-putting for the academic staff from our experience. So that's one thing. And then on the other hand, we know the power of them. We know their importance. We realize that a European degree label would be, to use an analogy, it would be, if the governments could just agree, it would be like cutting a tunnel through a mountain, you know, making it possible to get to the other side without having to go over the mountain of legal obstacles. And so that's why it's such an interesting movement to get the ministries from the different countries together and to agree on it. But of course, they don't agree on it yet. So So, I mean, we are working hard in ECIU to help to convince them. Our rectors are convinced about the European degree label. And we see that it's of strategic importance to the ECIU to work on the degree label, connected very much with the discussion we had earlier about internationalization and working with partners outside Europe, but also working with partners outside the university sphere, like businesses. The question we're asking ourselves now in ECIU is how can we then build a flexible learning pathway? So we know that the traditional, let's say, the Erasmus Mundus model, joint degrees, have all those limitations. But flexible learning, using challenges, micro-credentials, mobility, and building it into a European degree label, we feel that there is great potential there. I'm sorry, but my dog is jumping up beside me as I'm trying to speak. Apologies for the dog. But we feel that there's great potential there, because it creates this kind of dynamics that the students are needing, that the teachers are needing. We're not available in ECIU to go into the traditional joint degrees. So what we really, really want is to overcome the legal and financial obstacles that come with it. So there has to be a package that comes with it that facilitates it. And I think the message we're trying to give to the decision makers is that if you can come up with the legal framework and a financial package that will come along with it, we will make it great. We will make it really interesting in terms of content, in terms of flexibility, in terms of mobility. We can provide that. We're very confident we can provide that. Olga, please help me and tell me if I've said anything that's absolutely off the table. And maybe you would like to come in as well and talk a little bit about the question of the legal status. So thank you.
Yeah, you've seen also from my presentation that the European degree is everywhere, in every report, in every ambition. The European Commission says, okay, we have the Euro, Schengen, and now we also have the European degree. It's really, really important to them. It's really important also to the Polish presidency right now, and we hope for commitment from all the member states. We keep our fingers crossed, especially for Sweden and Germany. There are some countries who are not completely convinced. So especially from those countries, if you know people in the ministry, go talk to them. Because it will help the European degree, will also create momentum to cut this red tape, especially what Niall is saying, that is the big obstacle. If there is a big push to proceed towards the European degree and there's a commitment from the member states, of course, they will also then try to overcome the national drawbacks and the obstacles at the national level. On the legal status, yeah, we can talk 15 more minutes, but we don't have time because we're already 25 minutes over time. Let me say one sentence on the legal status, but this is not enough. One sentence. We did a project on this for a year, studying what European legal status are available, comparing the available European status to the national legal status that ECIU already has since 1997. So we have quite some experience, but we are now reaching the limits of our national legal status, and we need a European acknowledged status beyond borders, so that people in Sweden, Portugal, Lithuania, they all understand the same thing. What is ECIU University, and what is what are all the legal details? That doesn't exist. In fact, the available European legal statuses right now are less helpful than our national foundation, the foundation on the Dutch law that we have right now. So ECIU University will stay with the Dutch foundation, but the European Commission will propose a proposal for a European legal instrument for alliances in 2027. This was announced in the European Union of Skills. So this is not the final word. There is a momentum now, so we keep on pushing. And I could talk for an hour more on what are exactly the limitations and the needs for European legal status. But I won't do that, Ruta, because you will mute me anyways if I start.
Thank you very much, Olga. And actually, we have the very last question. Do we propose micromodules or micro-credentials for the adult education? Asta?
Yes, we do. Yes, we
Okay.
do. So for now, we're testing it, how it works, but yes, yeah, definitely. So as we mentioned, so we are opening it not only for the students, but for the lifelong learners as well.
Okay, dear colleagues, so yeah, time is ticking. So I would like to thank you very much for all your active participation. Thank you, Olga, Niall, Vilma, and Asta for all your presentations, for shared expertise and comments. Thank you very much indeed. And I would like also to take the opportunity to wish you all happy Easter. And I hope that you all enjoyed this event, gained some useful information, at least some. And yeah, we'll distribute the slides. You will receive the recording to watch it again or to show it to your colleagues at the universities. And definitely we are looking to seeing you in the future as group events, online cafes or other events as well. And thank you once again, each and everybody, for joining us today. And I wish you a nice evening because it's already evening in Lithuania. Bye-bye.